Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
The Calgary Flames, some crazy how, are 4-0 to start this season. This is Game Over Calgary. This is a team that cannot be stopped. Coming up on the show today, we are going to be looking at the goaltending performance of Dustin Wolf. Should we see more of those? Jonathan Huberdeau, will he ever go a game again without getting a point? And a whole lot more on this defensive outing for the Calgary Flames. My name is Peter Klein, back for another season, my maiden voyage this year on Game Over Calgary. Joined tonight, you know him from his Twitter account at CGY_Anand. You love him from Game on Calgary. He is Anand. My man, 4-0 to start the season. Who would have thought? How's it going tonight, sir?
Good evening, Peter. Yeah, nobody thought. Really surprising 4-0 and oh, I'm excited to do the show along with you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a great evening. Lots to talk about, lots to like, and maybe a couple things we can discuss as well that they can improve as a team.
Yes, yeah. We're not exactly batting 1,000 on things going perfectly, even though the win percentage is perfect. So yeah, get your thoughts in the chat on these subjects and more as we get ready for Game Over. But I do want you to also check out our title sponsor. They are the flagship show of the Game Over Network on the Game Over Network channel. It is Hyperdrive Hockey. All things hockey across various leagues in multiple countries. Whatever it is, wherever it is, Max and Daphne have you covered for all your hockey news with some fun Star Wars references mixed in as well. You can find Hyperdrive Hockey on the Game Over Network YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. It is a season into hyperdrive for the Calgary Flames. It certainly feels like, because I cannot ever go from one thing to another without doing a bad segue. I think that there's obviously a lot of kind of big stories from this game, I think, and a lot to really get excited about. But I do think that the big star of the game tonight is Dustin Wolf. I think that he was the big topic of conversation coming into the season. I think that that is going to continue for the next 2 to 3 seasons, at least with this kid. I think that based off of how last year went, there was a lot of people that he had to win over, and I think he has done that successfully in his first couple of outings. I just think Dustin Wolf's been amazing. And what have you made of the starting goalie for the Flames so far?
Yeah, 100% all the home games he has started, he has been doing amazing. He looks confident more and more each game. We saw that today, and I think one of the stats that I read or heard on the broadcast of Sportsnet is that he has stopped 66 out of 70 shots so far. So that's like a .94 save percentage, which is really fantastic for a goaltender who is in his rookie year, getting adjusted to the NHL. He keeps adjusting and he continues to impress everybody. We thought he would be not ready for NHL, but so far these past few games, he has proved us wrong, and he's continuing to be stellar at all times.
Yeah, he's been great, and I think his positioning has been fantastic so far. Like he kind of always seems to be in the right spot, and that is something that I think has really changed from last year. Not that he was off in the corner somewhere or anything like that last year, but I think that this year, it just, you talk about the maturity and stuff that he has had. It feels calmer in there, right? Like it feels like he has things a little bit under control. Last year, it was just kind of all over the place, right? Like he's obviously very athletic. And I think sometimes he relied a bit too much on that, and it would be post to post, and it'd be post to past the post, and oh, look at that, the net's empty, and hey, a puck just went into it. That seems suboptimal. This year, in these first couple of games anyway, you're not seeing as much of that. And Calgary, and we'll talk about a lot of things on this blue line that we have liked, but this hasn't exactly been a super sound defensive team in the first couple of games either. He has faced some high quality scoring opportunities, and he has been nails on all of them. And so I think the thing that has stuck out to me is the composure he has and the positioning that he has been utilizing so far between the pipes. It's been really impressive to see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he has not been letting off those rebounds. He's strong, he's composed, he's letting not go his crease. He's aware of what plays are be made. He is aware that the defensemen are there to help him as well. I think we saw one example where Bean-Pachal actually stepped in to help Dustin Wolf do that hit, and then Wolf recognized. So I think overall he's aware of what's happening around him, and he's strong and focused, and he's delved into almost every game we have seen thus far.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about his utilization a little bit later on, because there's just something I've picked up on in the last little bit, but we'll save that for period 3 as we go along. Get it? It's a hockey reference. Yeah. But I want to see more of this kid. And that was the thing from last year. And all of the people who were talking about, well, he's not ready. Look what this, oh, he's not ready. It's like, A, that team was so stuck together at the end. B, he would go like 2-3 weeks at a time without playing a game. He's never been used to that. Even when he was like 8, he probably played more regularly than that. And so now that he has this consistency in his game and his consistency in his opportunities, I am really excited to see where he can go. All the stuff that we've talked about, you talked about his awareness of where the defense is and all of those things. That's stuff you have to learn at this level now, right? Like, he has to pick that up at this pace, at this level, with those shooters out there. And Connor Bedard, Lord knows he tested him tonight. But you're not going to get that at the NHL or at the AHL. You now have to get this experience in the NHL, and I think that's been really valuable for him so far.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially this NHL experience. I don't know how many starts he'll get down the road, what Ryan Askar's plan will be, but give him as much as stats you can, as long as you're confident he's confident. Get him some road games as well, get him to learn the different ice systems, different ice arenas around, and see how different teams play. That's only the way you can get experience. But I think Wolf has been amazing so far, and he has surprised most of us on how great he has been.
We got 20 people in the chat right now, and so let's get those like numbers up a little bit. Make sure everyone hits that like button. And also nice to see a few returning folks in the chat this year from last year. Always great to see. Matt C, a regular in the chat last year. Conrad was as well, and now he's talking on our screens a lot. He's in the chat. I love that Flames fans are doing the "ow" that the Wranglers fans were doing. I think we need to bring some sound effects into the Game Over world as well, and get some Wolf sounders going, because that's been a whole lot of fun. And Matt C, oh cool, Peter is back, thank you. Wolf refuses to let off a rebound. That's something you were talking about, Anand. And also Mackenzie was very happy to see you in there. I didn't want to just give out one that, oh hey, I'm here, but the rebound control is something that you talked about, and that I think is going to be really key for this team, because again, we're all very happy, we're all very excited. We should not be blinded to the fact that this is still maybe not the most talent-rich hockey club out there, and there are going to be some defensive issues. And so if that rebound control isn't there, then all of a sudden all heck breaks loose, and it becomes a bit more of a challenge. And so I think to have those control, again, the theme of the day is control. He seems controlled, he has everything under control, and he's kind of starting to control the game, and that's really something that's really cool to see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he doesn't look worn down. Like, even though he let in one goal earlier this evening, he still looked great. He didn't let him down. He looks so I know I'm repeating myself, but he looks strong and composed and ready to go each minute, each shift. So being that NHL ready, he'll get that experience, and he'll have so much confidence moving forward in the next few games we have, or even down the road 1-2 months, depending on how the goaltending tandem goes.
Yeah, very excited to see where this is going. And don't worry about repeating yourself. I've basically asked you the same question just 3 different ways in the last little bit, so don't worry about that. We will move on, though, because it was not just a one wolf. He was not a lone wolf out there tonight. It was a full wolf pack, if you will. Shout out to WCW NWO. But Matt Coronato steps up and gets a couple of goals in this game. One is an empty netter, which I think is also an important detail of this that we'll talk about in a second. But the big conversation coming in was, well, you can't play this guy on a fourth line. And look, I was a part of that. I'm, for those who are unaware, I talk on the radio out here from time to time as well. Certainly not as regularly as I used to. But we were talking about it, like, yeah, you want this guy getting top six experience. If he's not getting that here because Sam Honzik is just a fixture on the top line now, you have to be putting him down in the American Hockey League and getting him that experience. And then they put him on the fourth line, and now Ryan Lomberg is pulling off spin moves, and this team is creating some opportunities. He gets a goal tonight. He didn't look out of place on that fourth line, which is a weird thing to say. Like, no, you know what? You looked like a fourth liner. Probably not the compliment I'm wanting it to be, but he looked confident out there, and it's nice to see him get out there and have those results. I thought he was dynamite in this game. What did you see from one of the Flames' top prospects out there this evening?
Yeah, Peter, I agree with you. When I came into the game, started watching the game, I was still thinking like Coronato in the fourth line, it won't work. We saw it maybe last game against the Edmonton Oilers. It didn't shine as much, but I think something clicked on that fourth line today with Lomberg, Kirkland, how he has been, and Coronato. I think both of them have helped and mentored Coronato, and he has been helpful in the fourth line. You saw the two amazing goals. We talked about the first one, good shot from Lomberg, and then he found that rebound, tapped it in, and then empty net, which is another important goal. Nothing because all these goals are definitely hard. You need to clear your zone. You need to score them. So definitely, I think Coronato definitely had a much better game. He didn't have a perfect training camp. Now him coming in, playing tonight in the fourth line proves a case that he's maybe he'll get a couple more chances. I don't know who will maybe stay out. That's a question to discuss later. But I think Coronato has proved himself to get at least a couple more games in, and he's looking well suited for tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone is okay, but about 18 different guys went off with injuries at various points this evening because this team insisted on blocking 1 billion shots tonight. So hopefully everyone's all right. But yeah, Coleman had a bit of a hitch in his giddy up going to the bench. Pospisil, he did come out after. Conrad and I kind of had a chat in the Discord, and I saw he brought it up on X as well. That was borderline slew footy from Tyler Bertuzzi on Pospisil. Nice to see that he was out there after that. But yeah, guys are going to get banged up. Opportunities are going to come up, and this is what you have to do. And it's something that I kind of got frustrated by at certain times when Matthew Phillips was getting called up and he got put on the fourth line. And everyone's like, well, you're not putting him in the best spot to succeed. You got to get him up there. And I think at the time it was still the Gaudreau era. I might be mixing them up now, but they would put Phillips out there and he'd be on the fourth line. Oh, well, you got to give him a top six opportunity. It's like, look, man, yes, like if you put him with Johnny Gaudreau, pretty good chance things are going to go well. That's just because he happens to be awesome. So, like, it would be great if everything worked out perfectly and you could just put all of these prospects in the exact perfect scenario for them. But there's, like, 2 of those on this team, right? At some point, if you want to play in the National Hockey League, it may not be the exact perfect fit. And like you said, like Coronato, he looked great out there and he looked comfortable. He has kind of, in a way that has surprised, I think, a lot of people, he's kind of made this the perfect fit for him, and he's starting to thrive in that role.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was kind of surprising to see, especially with Klapka out. I think he mainly had the fourth line slotted in, but then Coronato trying now. I think he's well suited. Maybe we can see him get a first or second line role. But as long as if this is how Ryan Naska is going with Lomberg, Kirkland, Kaplan, Coronato, if you want to keep that chemistry going together, I think you can run it for a couple more games, see how it goes, and then make a decision. But I think this line perfect. I think it was one of the best played lines today from what I noticed. They were out there every shift. They were fast. They were juggling around. And then they produced 2 goals as well, Coronato on both occasions. So I think this line definitely has proven worthy of what it's capable for. But we don't know if this will be the long-term plan just yet.
Yeah. And I do just want to say, we're going way long on this first segment, so sorry about that, folks. But the fact that they were out there for the empty net goal, yes, it's not as difficult to shoot a puck into a net that doesn't have a goalie in it. But the other team, because they don't have that goalie, they have more guys out there than you do. And so to be trusted in that defensive scenario late in a game where it's not like you would think, oh, okay, Backlund, Coleman, and whoever, in this case, probably Zari, you think, well, just send those guys out there. The fact that that trust was built with Coronato, Lomberg, and Kirkland is I think, a really, really good sign for what this organization views of all of these guys. So I thought that was kind of an interesting note to come out of all of that.
Yeah, 100%. I think Kirkland, Costco, his nickname, I think he has also earned a trust on the coaching staff because he scored a goal, amazing goal again, his first NHL goal against Edmonton Oilers. He was fantastic on that. Today he blocked a couple of shots in the towards the very near end. He blocked a couple of shots, leading to Coronato's empty net goal. So I think another brilliant performance from the fourth line. And I think to see it for a couple of more days how it unfolds, I would be so excited to see that.
Couple more from the chat here. I almost call it a text line. That's not exactly. I mean, it's not inaccurate. There's text on here, but not exactly what we call it here. But Mackenzie Grafton, fourth line was kind of looking fast. There's a speed element to it for sure. That I don't think you really give Lomberg a whole lot of credit for that generally, but that's been a speed element to his game. Matt C asking, should Coronato get a run in Honzek's spot for a few games? We will see how Honzek's doing after getting banged up in this one. He hasn't stood out amazingly to me. I don't think he has been a detriment either. It's weird because I want to see how a few of these things work, but also they're 4-0 for the third time in franchise history. And so I think tinkering with the lines would be borderline insanity. So it's a weird balance of you want to get these guys in, you want to see how different things fit, but also things are going well. Why fix what's not broken?
Yeah. 100%. You usually sometimes say don't change what's working perfectly. You can roll with it and see how it goes. I mean, let's say if they have a bad game, for sure, try changing it up. Make sure you try something new. But I think for now, keep it as it is. And see how it goes.
Conrad saying Lamborghini is wheeling. We need a Lamborghini graphic. We do. I was thinking even just like a car motor revving, but now this is going to turn into like a 90s FM radio show really quickly. If we got a wolf, we got a car motor running. It's going to be beep, 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 honk, ooga. Like it's going to be all that. But I do think Lamborghini and a wolf will get IT on that and see what we can do for that. Still a bit to come here. Remember, like this video, share it with your friends, hit that subscribe button as we celebrate the vibiest team in the NHL right now. I do want to let you guys know, Game Over Network is an independent production focused on community, inclusion, and quality people. If you're interested in supporting the Game Over Network, we do have crowdfunding options available in the description of this episode, down there. We have a link to our Patreon page and are working on getting a page through La Ruche, which is a similar crowdfunding model to Kickstarter, but is for companies originated in Quebec. Most of them probably say their name better than I do. If you have any ideas for what you'd like to see as giveaways from crowdfunding measures, please sound off in the comments on Twitter, Instagram, or our Discord server. There's, again, as the Calgary Flames come away with a victory tonight, it is, I think, a game where you have a lot of guys kind of standing out. We mentioned that before with Coronato. Jonathan Huberdeau is doing that as well. This is, I think, pretty undisputedly the best 4-game stretch of Jonathan Huberdeau's Calgary Flames career. Do you think it is just as simple as Anthony Mantha is this Huberdeau whisperer that has got things rolling? Or is there something that you've noticed in Huberdeau's game that's changed? Why do you think he's all of a sudden awesome again?
I don't know the inner reasons of it, to be honest. But I think Anthony Mantha is definitely one of the answers that have sparked. I think the bringing of him has brought in some chemistry together to work together. Even Pospisil, I think having Pospisil as a sender maybe sparks their plug. So between Pospisil and Mantha, I think both of them are good answers if you want to say that has brought Huberdeau the chemistry that's needed. Overall, they both have worked really well. Huberdeau surprisingly has another assist today, another point. So it's so different to see how he has come through, and it's so refreshing to see. I think he also feels proud. He can get those shots in, goals in. He feels so happy. So I think between both Mantha and Pospisil, I think there is some link to it that has reconnected him and refreshed him overall this season.
Yeah, and when it's working, it does feel like the kind of perfect line, and it's something I've talked about in different platforms here. You have Pospisil, who is just go bolt, China shop, crash, bang, boom, go get the puck, all those sorts of things. He does that really, really well, and his speed is so so good. And the way that he is able to kind of collect those loose puck retrieval. That's what I'm looking for. Puck retrieval. He's really good at that. He also has a very good shot. Mantha has a laser beam and is that big body presence in front. We saw that, I think it was the Philadelphia game. No, it was the Edmonton game. He beat the defender in front and scored that goal. He can be that guy. And Jonathan Huberdeau is a ice vision aficionado and has a really high hockey IQ. It just, now that you see it working, it makes total sense that those three guys really do fit together very, very well. And I do think there is a longer term conversation to be had about this whole thing. We're not going to have it after 4 games because as we've seen, things can turn. But I think it is a real nice positive that this team is going in this direction. And if you can get Huberdeau figured out, that makes life a little bit easier for Craig Conroy and company, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we don't know the long-term answer yet. We don't know the long-term solution. But I think right now, I think both Huberdeau has linked to Pospisil and Mantha, and I think it's really working well. We don't know if they will get split. We don't know what if I don't want to think anything negatively, but if something happens, lines need to rejiggle. We'll have to see how Huberdeau produces. But right now, with the Pospisil and Mantha linking, I think he's been so perfect, and I hope he continues the role. It will be such a confidence booster for him, especially for having not a very great season last one.
Yeah, he needs something like this to get that going. We were chatting, I was going to say offline. That's not accurate. It was on Discord. It's on the internet. But before we came on the show, we were chatting, and you mentioned you wanted to talk about the Bean-Pachal pairing. That was one that kind of got messed with a little bit to try to get Barrie into the lineup. Bean comes back in. Pachal has been someone who has really impressed me in the first little bit here. Just going back to last year now, this season. But I don't want to step on any insight here. Well, what did you see from that pairing that you wanted to kind of touch on here?
Yeah, Pahal has been really surprising from the time he signed. He came in from Vegas. He has been amazing. I think he has really shown what he's capable of. He's there to get those hits. He can draw those penalties. He can take penalties and as well score goals as well as a defenseman. So that is something overall aspect I liked him. Even Bean as well as a newcomer to Calgary. I know his father is part of the Calgary Flames organization, but he has done well suited with a new team as well. So I think that's something that I want to salute for. And these two pairings, so the Bean and Pahal pairing makes it really difficult for Barrie to come in. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Ryan Huska wants to give Barrie a couple of games as well because they just signed him recently. He has had a couple good looks on the power play unit too. So I think Ryan Huska in the immediate future might want to give Barrie a chance. But I think both Bean and Pahal have made it difficult and interesting for this Ryan Huska coaching staff to see which pairing works well. And it's going to be a difficult decision moving forward.
No, for sure it is. And it is going to be, I think, a pretty difficult call. And I mean, you watch, again, you and I were chatting, that first power play, I think Huska wanted to look up in between periods and bring Tyson Barrie down as like a pro wrestling run-in because it was like that first power play was horrendous. And then they got a power play goal after. It's like, okay, well, course corrected, so that's great. And I do think that it is tricky. It has always felt like a weird fit when they brought him in as a PTO and then they signed him after. That this was always kind of the thing, is that there isn't that obvious spot to put him in there because he is just how he plays, kind of a defensive liability. And while I do think that individually there was a lot to like about what the Calgary defense did, they also gave up a whackload of shots. And now Conrad mentioning in the chat, per Ryan Pike, that the Flames one high danger chance allowed in the third period. That is per Ryan Pike, per natural stat trick. But so like they did a better job in that. But this team already, strong defensive play is going to be a liability. And so Barrie just doesn't, it's never really fit for me. And so now that we're getting into the season, I'm with you. I want to see Bean and Pachal for 4 or 5 more games in a row. Well, that by definition means you're not putting Barrie into the lineup. So it is going to be a difficult juggling act, I think, for Coach Huska to try to figure out where all these guys do fit in, where all these puzzle pieces go.
Yeah, definitely. There is no one. It's gonna evolve, like especially the defense pairing. It's gonna evolve. Goaltending tandem is gonna involve. Lines are gonna juggle. I think this is one of the first seasons, especially since I became a fan that we are having this much what you call competition in the lines. So many to juggle. You have so many options. You want so many people to get those NHL times. You're looking down at the AHL, who to give that chance, who to give that opportunity, and there are a lot of players that call for it. Hey, I'm ready. I want to come and try, and that's what's happening right now. Same with Bean-Pachal, same with Barrie. He wants to play. I'm sure he won't be happy sitting all these games, but again, it's going to be a tough choice. I don't know where it will land, but I hope you can see Barry a couple more games. I think I want to see where he works well. Maybe I think somebody talked about the Vigar Miramanov line not doing as great. Sometimes they do, sometimes they chemistry, but especially because Miramanov has that offensive defensive side, so he may not be suited with Vigar. We'll have to see. Everything is going to be a battle change as we evolve in the next few games here.
Yeah, I believe it was Matt asking about the Miramanov and oh no, sorry, it was Toxic Predator. He asking about the Miramanov and Uyghur pairing, and yeah, hit and miss for me at different times. Matt C also saying Pahal is only 25, not close to a finished product yet. I think we kind of just assume, oh yeah, waiver claim, so he's like a 34-year-old, whatever. But that's a 25-year-old who I think is going to have a bit of a say with this this blue line tonight. So or this season. So yeah, I think that it's again, it's a lot of intrigue and it's a whole lot of fun. I did want to get to what we think they need to correct, but we are kind of pushing up against it a little bit because there's just a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So we'll push that into segment 3. Obviously, Game Over Calgary, you guys are familiar with it. You're here. But we are just one of 7 in the Game Over network. And I thought when we were really going last time, and it's continued now, all the Game Over shows are a real good kind of reference to become a bit of a smarter hockey fan about all the other teams. There's a lot of real good talk on all these shows. And so absolutely check them out. Game Over Ottawa is one of the ones we're going to highlight here on Calgary. Their next game is Thursday against the New Jersey Devils. Maud and Mike are going to be on the call for that one. So again, whether you're a Sens fan or just want to learn more about the rest of the NHL, really good resource there. Segment 3 now, as we kind of wind this thing down. I do think that the goalie conversation is one that kind of needs to be revisited a little bit, and not just in a well, Wolf played really well, but one thing I've kind of picked up on is yes, they have kind of alternated, but I don't think it's an accident that A, Wolf has had the 2 home games, and B, he has had the considerably softer landing spots in both of these games, right? Like the 2 teams that he has played, Chicago, who we saw tonight, improved, not a playoff team from last year. Philadelphia, not a playoff team from last year. The 2 teams Vladar faced, Vancouver, playoff team. Edmonton, very much a playoff team from last year. And so I don't think that was an accident. And I am a little bit surprised by that, but I now in the last couple of games. Not that Vladar hasn't, but I think Wolf has shown me enough that I want to see more of him now. And so I would kind of like this to be a jumping off point to get Dustin Wolf more involved in this crease than just every other game against the lesser parts of the every other game. I want to see him 2, 3, 4 starts in a row. Are you there with me, or are we still on a goalie tandem in your mind?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want to see little bit more competitive games for him, especially maybe get him a Seattle game coming up. Or maybe another game in the future. Definitely, I think he wants to see the crease more consistently. He should gain the confidence because each team is different level. They have different skills. They have different shooters. They have different players who play differently. So I think giving him a different chance would be definitely ideal. And Yeah, like you said, it's not bad like how they have played it so far. Like giving Dustin Wolf these home games easier teams. I know that's the case. That's how you get him conditioned and everything. But I think it's time to step it up the angst a little bit and give him those important games. If you would say, give him couple playoff teams, give him teams that are almost at the playoff levels. I think that will be a wonderful fit for him.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Like I think the world of this kid, and so I understand that there is kind of a part of me that is just throwing him into the deep end because I think he can handle it, and so I do appreciate that they are kind of easing him in a little bit. Just I would like it to be a little less eased, quite frankly. Anything else you'd want to change? I didn't ask you this beforehand, but I do wonder if there are any things you want to kind of switch up with this Flames team moving forward. We'll see. Like I said, a bunch of guys blocked a bunch of shots tonight. I would tend to lean to maybe kind of keeping things the same right now, given how much I liked basically everything. But is there a tweak or two that you wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Huska make for Saturday's game against Seattle?
I would say just maybe focus on the power play units. It has showed its best, but it has not been consistent. I think I talked about it last episode as well. The power play is a flop. If your one power play does great, the other one you're flopping it. If you do one great, you're flopping it. So I think just be consistent. I don't know if they can try something new. I don't know what the issue is with the power play. I don't know. I don't want to speculate anything, but I think maybe making some few changes in the power play, practicing that more maybe, or I think for now just keep as it is. Don't change anything too majorly because we're happy with the team, how it's going so far, and we'll see how if any nagging comes. We talked about a few players getting injured. Pospisil look all right. He came back, but we'll see if anything happens on that front. We have Mackenzie Weegar who blocked a shot. We had Blake Coleman. We'll have to see if anything happens on that front, but we'll keep an eye on that. Stay tuned to Game on Calgary. If we hear any updates, we'll bring you latest there. But I think just working on the power play and then keeping the same lines. And I think that's it. The Flames can do so far a great start, and they have surprised a lot of us already.
Man, that plug for Game On was just that's the stuff of veterans there. Just a couple episodes into your Game Over career, and we're already looking like a KG vet. That was phenomenal. Bravo. As the vet around here, I'm so proud, and I have done zero things to teach you, so that's great. But yeah, that was awesome, and I agree. Like the power play, maybe you tinker with a little bit. If you can get the other team to take 2 penalties, that seemed to help. But yeah, maybe kind of switch that up a little bit. We are going to head into overtime now, so get your thoughts in the chat right now. We will get to a couple of those before time runs out. And by time runs out, I mean we decide to stop. Not at all, because I only used my Zoom tonight, and we have like 4.5 minutes left on it. But I do want to tell you guys that, again, we at Game Over Calgary are part of a bigger network. You can check out all the different ones. It's linked on the Game Over Calgary YouTube page. Coming up on Wednesday, it is the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the LA Kings. Kelly Rudy with the stat on the broadcast tonight that Anze Kopitar has never scored against the Leafs. And so knowing their luck, he will probably get 4 when they play on Wednesday. So listen to how Lauren and Dominic react to that on Game Over Toronto once that game is done. Make sure you subscribe to the Game Over Toronto feed. One more time, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and do all of those things. And let's get into the chat now as we head into overtime. Conrad saying, A, he's quite upset with me, but B, he said, having 2 goalies performing well is never a bad thing to have. And no, that's fair. Like it is nice to have the, well, both guys are playing well. I guess we have to, like, one of them has to sit instead of the, well, one of them has to play. Can we just go with 6 tonight? No, one of them has to play. All right. And because we've had that around here before. So this is a very nice alternative to have for the Calgary Flames, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to also quickly go back to a question. I don't know if he answered yet. From what do you guys think about the Mermanov and Vigor pairing to start the season? I think that question we talked about a bit. I think we told that it hasn't clicked that much because of Mermanov's offensive defensive pairing, but we'll have to see. It's just 4 games in. We'll see how it evolves in the next couple of games. And then, like, of course, we have Barrie to try. We have a couple other AHLs that are ready to come into NHL. So if nothing works out on that end, we have that option too.
And Brendan saying, watch Game Over Winnipeg as on Friday. Yes, no, of course. Like there's a couple that I have to plug, but yes, watch all of the Game Overs all the time. Like I said, it is, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. Like I was subscribed to all of our podcasts when we were going the first time, and gonna get back into that now this go around, and it really does help you keep up to date. Even when we're not limited by Zooms, they're generally around 45 minutes to an hour, and a lot of really good information on all the NHL teams, all the Canadian ones anyway. So an amazing resource if you want to become a smarter hockey fan. All right, I think that is going to put a bow on this one today. The next time we come at you for Game Over is going to be Saturday, so a bit of a break for the Flames to rest up from a billion blocked shots and to celebrate 4-0 for the first time since 2009-2010. It'll be the Flames and the Kraken of Seattle. It will be myself and Conrad for that one. But in the meantime, Anand's going to keep you up to date on everything going on with the Flames. He and Conrad rocking out on Game On Calgary right here on this YouTube channel. Make sure you like it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends and like 2 people you don't like, just to throw them off the scent a little bit. Anand, where can people find you, sir?
Yeah, people can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok at CGY_Anand. And for those who don't know me, I'm a SAID broadcast news student. You can find me reporting on Flames otherwise as well outside of Game Over Calgary. And I do fun radio casts and newscasts. So if you want to tune in and get in news, you can find me there as well. Thank you so much, Peter. It was a pleasure doing this with you.
Yeah, this was great. We've kind of passed each other at different events, but first time getting to work together, so this was dope. Thank you all so much. Like Conrad said, we're going to be answering some of these questions from the chat on Game On as well. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your night, everybody.